Welcome to MINITAB Express, MINITAB for Macs. The first thing I want to point to you is as soon as you download MINITAB Express onto your Mac and you open it up, you'll get this initial page, Getting Started. It has lots of helpful resources to help you to work within the MINITAB environment. I'm going to show you a few things to get you started. And the first thing to see is these are where the drop-down menus are, where we can actually do statistical analysis on data. This piece right here, this white, looks like a white sheet almost on your computer, is where the results after we do one of the drop-down commands. And this area right here is our worksheet, and we can make the worksheet bigger or smaller. The navigator will show everything that we've done in that particular session. The first thing that I would like to show you is how we can put data in. And it's just like an Excel file. If you've not worked with that, it's just like working with any worksheet. So I wanted that first row that we see here without any number, that's the label for that column. If we don't have it, then MINITAB will refer to it as C1 when it gives results in this session's window up above. So I'm going to do Winter Olympics 2010 medals. So I'm going to type in the country, and the medals the number of medals that particular country got or received in the 2010 Olympics. And so I'm going to type in all of these. I'm going to pause for a moment so that you don't see all that because it would take a while. So I typed in the different countries and the number of medals. But as you can see in column 4 and 5, I typed in just the top 10 countries. Because when I'm doing bar graphs and pie charts in MINITAB Express, I can have no more than 12 categories. So the first thing I want to show is how to do a pie and a bar chart in MINITAB Express. I would go to Graphs, and then I'd go to Pie Chart. Now my data isn't in counts of unique values. Otherwise I would see US 37 times, Germany 20 times, Canada 26 times. I actually have it in summarized form. And in this case, it's really a frequency table. So I've got summarized data because I've got to let MINITAB know how to graph this data. So my category names are going to come from the top 10 countries. And the summary values will be in C5, the medals of those top 10 countries. I hit OK, and I'll get MINITAB's default pie chart. And we'd like to give it better titles, more descriptive titles. So I'm going to change this to Distribution of Medals for the Olympics in 2010. Once I put that title in, I can see it and it's more descriptive. Now I can see my different slices. So if I want to know who had 21.1% of the medals, I'd go over to this ledger to see that. But a lot of times we'd like to see it all in one place. So what we can do is we can add little titles to each of the slices. And the way that you would do that is you would left click on your mouse, and we want to add slice labels. Yeah. So I want the category name and I want the percents in there. So now I don't have to go to this ledger. I can just see it right with each of the slices. Now, if I want to make sure that my graph has everything I need, I can pull down my data so I can see the complete graph. I could also, if I needed to, if the title's too long, I could actually create a subtitle so that I could see the full title. So in here, let's say I didn't want to just say 2010 because it says nothing about that this is for the Olympics. I could go back here. I could left click. I could add a subtitle. And in that subtitle, write 2010 Olympics, giving me a much more descriptive title. So that's how you would do a pie chart. Now, what if I want to put this pie chart either in PowerPoints or, in our case, putting it into a Word document? I could open up a Word document and I could actually copy this graph and put it into that Word document. All I do is I'd right click and I'd paste. And now I have my MINITAB graph into my Word document. Now, what is nice is I can move my document around and I can change how big and small it is. So if I was printing this out and I didn't want to waste a lot of paper, I could make it smaller. If I want people to readily see it and I'm not worried about wasting paper or whatever, I could make it larger. And again, being able to move it, rotate it around. So I could make a really nice document. Now, if I wanted to do a bar graph, I just would do my bar graph. Again, this is not in counts of unique values, but that it's summarized data in a table. And I just want a simple bar graph. And once again, my summary values, and they have it switched from what the pie chart was, but my summary values are in C5, the metals, the number of metals. The categorical variables are in C4. And now I have a nice bar graph of my data. And once again, if I right click, there are things that I could add. I could add tick marks or lines along the y-axis. Excuse me, I hit the wrong thing. I could get grid lines so that I could read my data better. I could put data labels in here to know how many are in each of these boxes. I could do scale type. The default would be numbers, or I could do percents. So I could have the percentages on there also. Change this to the distribution of. I can also change these labels right here. So I could, instead of saying country top 10, say the top 10 countries. So we have many options within MINITAB. You see the countries down here and the numbers along the y-axis. I could also do that. I would add to the tick labels, automatically will add the X, and to the Y if I click onto these. Take them off, put them on. So it depends on how I want my data displayed. Now let's say I actually want to make a tally, or I want to make a pie chart or a bar graph with unique counts. Well, in column number 7, we have the color of cars, and that's what's in unique counts. I actually go somewhere, I look at the number of cars, and I just write down, oh, there's a red one, there's a red one, there's a blue one, there's a silver one, whatever. And I put my data into MINITAB. Well, I could actually get pie charts of it. So I could make a pie chart. And this time I have these counts of unique. And it's in column 7. Oops. And now I have that pie chart. And I could once again add whatever I need to add to it. I could put my slice labels in there. And I could say I want to see the category name and the percents. I could change my title and make the different changes that I showed before, along with other ones. I would say take MINITAB and play around with it, see what you can do. So now I can get that summary table if I so desire. I could go to Tally, and in Tally I could say, okay, what's my variable? It's this one right here in C7. So I could make a relative frequency chart or a frequency chart. If I just check counts, I'm making a frequency chart. And we'll see that frequency chart right here. And I can copy and paste that and put that also into a Word document as well as a graph. I just copy that and put it into my Word document. Now what if I wanted a relative frequency chart? Well, not much different, not too much more work to that. I would say, okay, my variable is color of cars, and this time I just want it in percents. And now I have the relative frequency chart. And if I wanted to see both of those charts together, that's also possible. I could go into my summary, into the tally, and just check both of them, as well as cumulative counts and cumulative percents, whatever that I would want to do. Now, if any time I want to go back and see something that I've done earlier in my MINITAB session, that's what this navigator is for. So if I want to see those charts of metals for my top 10 countries, I could go right in there and I could see that, and I could change or manage whatever I would like. Now, if I'm going to save my MINITAB, let's say that it's time I needed to do something else, but I wanted to get back to it, or I just have completed what I wanted and I want to save this file, I just go up above and I change the file. I save the file and I just give it a name. So I could say, and I could save it wherever I would like. In this case, I'll just put it in the desktop. And I could come back and work with the data later. So I could get out of MINITAB. Now, this is an excellent time to show what if I have a file that has MINITAB data in it. If I have MINITAB on my computer, all I have to do is open up that file and it will open it up right into MINITAB. So I can close this helpful resources just to remind us where we can go for help. But now I'm back to my file that has my data in there and it has all the things that I had previously done. So I could go back and work on it. So this is a nice introduction to MINITAB Express. Thanks for watching.